Baba Swami, everyone. The name of this event, this session is This is Samarpan. It is the first session of This is Samarpan, and we invite overseas guests and interview them and have a question answer with them, so you will know more about the session. Today's session, let's start from This is Samarpan, and my name is Sonal Sabu. I am from San Jose, California. I have joined Samarpan since 5 years almost, and have had amazing experiences. I would like to introduce Hitendra ji and Zureka ji. Hitendra ji is our managing trustee for Americas, and he originally is from Navsari, Gujarat, and then he moved to Montreal, Canada after marrying Kalpana ji. Now he lives in Raleigh, North Carolina. Hitendra ji will be interviewing our guests, which I will talk about in a second. I would like to introduce Zureka. We both are from San Jose, and she runs San Jose Center. She is also a trustee of Samarpan. She joined Samarpan in 2015. So Zureka will help you with interview questions. Our guests are Jayaben and Surendra ji Pisavadia. So first, little bit about Surendra ji. Surendra ji is retired. He used to work in British Airways. He joined Samarpan in November 2000. And right now he is managing trustee of UK. And his involvement in the Samarpan has grown over the years. So I'm really excited to know more about Surendra ji. It's been very fun to interact with you during the week and get all the pictures and all the information that I could retrieve from about Samarpan from you. And now our beautiful Jayaben, thank you. I've already heard about you we all have heard about you in Samarpan SHIBIRS. So our Jayaben is from UK Ashram. She is in charge of UK Samarpan Ashram. She was a yoga teacher. She was blessed by Swamiji in 2004. She started her yoga training in Shivananda Ashram in Trivandrum. And she was teaching yoga in special needs school, which benefited these schools mentally and physically. It was her passion, teaching and getting satisfaction. That's where she met Guruji in 2000, and it was a very interesting story because there was a student who came to her who could not talk and hear. That student came to her with a flyer of Samarpan event and got to know. That's what directed her to the Samarpan.
Jai Baba Swami, thank you very much, Sonalji and Zurika-ji. I welcome on behalf of all the sadhaks attending today's program to our guests, Jayaben and Surendra Bhai Pisavadia-ji. They are from UK, as you already know, but I know them as my Jayaben. We have been so close to each other. In fact, in 2001, August, when Swamiji came for the first time to Canada, Jayaben came with Swamiji, and she was with Swamiji with the hope that Swamiji will be speaking in Hindi, and he needs some support communicating or translating his discourse in English. So that was the primary purpose. Plus secondary was, she was like a bodyguard for Swami. She came and she was taking care of Swamiji for all his personal needs, as a bodyguard, as a secretary, as a translator. So all in one, big job. And in fact, we learn a lot of things from her. So before I go and ask certain questions to Jayaben, first thing I want to start with is with Surendra Bhai. Surendra Bhai, I would like to know, what was your professional and personal life as a couple before starting Samarpan meditation?
Welcome everyone. Thank you for inviting us to this session. I'm happy to share whatever we can and help anyone who has recently joined, and with all the experience, with all the time we spent with Samarpan. Professional life, as you heard, I used to work for British Airways. Since the 70s, I retired in 2012. Personal life, of course, we both, when we first met, Jaya was into theosophy and I was just interested in listening to lectures and discourses. So um, apart from that, my personal life was two things which I can never get away from. First is photography, as a lot of you know, and I'm still well into it. Secondly, I was a sports person. So I played hockey, football, cricket, and in the end it became too much, so I had to give up cricket and football. But I carried on playing hockey until my 50s, really. And
Wow.
in the early years, I traveled to many parts of the world into competitions, and highlight of my career was playing against the Pakistan national team in Australia.
That's very
So
exciting.
yeah, I traveled to South Africa, Canada, not Canada, Trinidad, Kuala Lumpur, Singapore, and yeah, so that's my.
So you were a
After,
sportsman.
very much so, very much so. Yeah, I really and thoroughly enjoyed that. Yes. Yeah, so it was interesting because I got to travel quite to many countries before Samarpan, and after Samarpan, obviously that is all gone now. And then once Samarpan came into, from 2003, I had to stop all sports, and that's when real Samarpan life started, 2003.
Interesting. Surendra Bhai, tell us about Jayaben's professional life, what she was doing, and though Sonal has given us a little bit in brief.
I think she when she was in Kenya and she used to be a school teacher there. When she came here, she obviously again joined the same profession in school as a special needs teacher. And once she got into the secondary school, she was working for a special needs school, not so far from here. And after she settled down for a while, then they realized she was a yoga teacher. She was then given a class where special needs, they could be quite violent at times, etc., not very settled. So we found that once she requested that she should run the classes, and when she started, they really loved it. So that became a regular class every week. Every couple of times every week there was a class for her. And once she started doing that, she realized that the students were quite stable. They started settling down, which was a great achievement. Other than that, obviously Jaya went to India to study for yoga. She did a class there. She got a certificate from India, and she was also running the Samarpan evening classes for adults and children.
If you can tell us more about how and when did you guys come to know about Samarpan meditation while you were in London?
Yes, as Jaya, there was a student in Jaya's school. When her mother came to pick her up, she told Jaya that there was a Guruji staying at her house, and he will be starting lectures for the very next day. It's an 8-day lectures over 8 days, and she came and asked me. She said, "Shall we attend?" So I said, "Yeah, willingly." Yes, we went. We got to the first day. It was quite interesting. Believe me, I had never heard of what chakras or kundalini was. Didn't have a clue. So we went, and it was quite interesting. So we attended all 8 days.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So did Jayaben know about chakras and kundalini and all that because she attended the yoga classes in India?
Jaya was aware. Jaya had been into spirituality long before we met. She was from Kenya. Right. She, as you already know, she was a member of the Theosophical Society from Kenya. Since the Kenyan days. Once we attended, we also asked Swamiji, because he was talking to us, and he said, "I would like to take this further." we asked him. So he said, yeah, I would like to take it further. So he was invited to Cardiff for a Shibir. So after London, 2 Shibirs in London, he went to Cardiff, to Leicester. We then picked him up from there and drove him to Cardiff, and with his family, and he stayed there, and he did another 8-day Shibir there. But funny thing is, this is 2000, his first trip, and he'd never been here before. And
Right.
on the way, if I may share this, on the way, as we approached the Wales border, he said to us in the car, he said, the energy has changed for the better. Because Wales, as a lot of people know, it's a mountainous, a beautiful country, and
Right.
lovely villages when you go there. And he mentioned this in the car on his first trip, and he said there are lovely energies. He loved it. That was my first experience with him. I mean, I was not a spiritual person. Obviously, I was used to attend lectures and just for knowledge.
Right.
But other than that.
So just to get the idea, is Wales between Leicester and Cardiff on your way while you were driving?
Yeah, Wales. So you got the United Kingdom is. You got 4 countries, isn't it? You got England, you got Wales, you got Scotland, and you got Ireland, Northern Ireland. Yeah. So we were traveling from London to Wales, which is Cardiff. From London to Cardiff is around approximately 2.5 hours, slightly longer from Leicester.
So that was interesting, because Swamiji also mentioned about these things in his discourse, that in UK the energy in Wales and Cardiff area is very pure and very high. I also remember Swamiji telling us about some energy of the Christian saints. When was that experience took place?
Yeah, okay, I was going to share that. Yes, okay. If you want me to do that now, yes. So he stayed here until January. He arrived on 23rd of November. He stayed here until January. Then he left, and he came back in 2001. When he came back in 2001, again he was in Cardiff. He was staying there at my cousin's house. So when he was staying there, there was few people present there one evening, and he said. He mentioned something, and it was he retired to bed early, and he said, "I'll share this story with you later." And later, next morning, he very early in the morning, he shared the story. He said, "I was getting some visions," and he expressed. He let the group know what this person looked like. He was wearing white clothing, etc. And he said, they said, one of the guys in the room said, "Oh, that sounds like Saint David." So they brought the picture up on the screen on the computer, and he said, "Yeah, that's exactly what it was." Like. Yeah, it looks like. So obviously they traveled to Saint David, because that was Saint David. Okay. They traveled to Saint David, which is from Cardiff. I think it's approximately 4 hours drive, and 3 hours perhaps, slightly less than London. So they went there, and in the evening they were looking for a place to stay, and they checked the internet, etc. And they found Penru. Penru is, as you know, you've been there, retreat center, and Team Symes was there. And they knocked on the door, Team Symes came here, and he said, "Yes, I've got many rooms here available, so you can stay here." Couple of days later, team took them down. They said, "Oh, we'll go and see the St. David Cathedral." The photos are here, you can see the photos. So team joined them, and when team joined them, they went around. And they came to this casket where there were bones of 3 saints. Swamiji had already left that area, and he walked down further, but Tim chased him and came back, and he said, "Yeah, I need to share something with you." So he brought him back there, and Swamiji was trying to identify whose bones they were. And Tim stood in front of the casket. And Swamiji was trying to clear him. Everybody else was seated. And there is a video about this. Swamiji's hands were behind Tim's back and
Right. I have seen that original video because Swamiji showed us.
So he cleared Tim's Kundalini, and I think there is a video where on his t-shirts you can actually see the movement.
Mm-hmm.
And later they went out and they were seated on the grass outside the cathedral, and then Swamiji exactly explained the whole process. I mean, I don't want to go into that because I won't remember everything unless I see. That's a long story, but that is in essence, that is a story. Yeah? That's how it happened.
Thank you. So that was very interesting because we as old sadhak know this, but new people don't know. And I want people to notice that these are the early days when Swamiji came for the first time out of India, and certain experiences were happening with the divine energy of the local saints. Wherever Swamiji went, Swamiji experienced those energies, and Swamiji also explained during his workshop that just like a transistor is made probably in Japan or China, but whenever it is brought to other country, it is going to play the music or radio stations that it catch the bandwidth. So wherever it can connect, it will play the information from that station. The same way, Guru energy, if you can connect on a conscious level as a guru, then what happens is whatever is the local energy of the divine saints or gurus that is available in that land, that guru will be able to connect, or the energy from the local place will connect with that guru. And this is the way it worked, as Swamiji explained. That was beautiful explanation and experience sharing.
Sorry, apologies. I missed one vital point here.
Go ahead.
Tim was identified as, there were three, as I said, there were three bones of three saints in that casket. And there was Saint David, Saint Caradoc, and there was one other, and I can't remember that name unfortunately. But Tim was identified as Saint Caradoc. Swamiji said in his past life, Tim was Saint Caradoc.
So Jayaben, I want to ask you something. What was the reaction of the people who attended the first Shibir in London, where you attended the first Shibir also?
Well, actually, I won't say any reaction or any this kind of thing when people come there. They just come and they listen to Swamiji and they liked it, But then, as we know, that sometimes not everyone get this gist of Swamiji, what he's trying to say. Mm-hmm. So there were lots of people there, more than 35, 60 people. But out of all that, it seems that me, Surendra, and my brother, and there was another, my theosophical friend, which I took, she accompanied me actually. Only we four of us remained, but then this theosophical member, lady, she didn't want to because she said that I'm happy with theosophy. And I remained there. Like Swamiji says, I'm the big founder of, and the foundation stone of UK actually. Right. And Swamiji wanted, I asked Swamiji that should I'm holding a theosophical membership even, and Swamiji says it's okay. It's a good link for us to go in because they are quite book knowledge. They don't have any anubhuti. So you just stay wherever you are, and you got a living guru now, so you carry on with me. So that's how I got actually involved in it. But basically, I would say that what the reaction was, because I just went there to listen to Swamiji, and whatever I received Swamiji as my guru, my first guru, that was my interest actually.
Thank you very much. So I have two more questions from this answer. First, you mentioned about your brother. Is it Raju Bhai?
No,
Who
my
created?
brother is not my brother, my own brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There is a person, I believe, I don't know the name correctly, but I think it was Rajubai who created the audio CD for the music with the sitar, the first CD
Yes.
that we created.
Yes.
Yes,
He's
yes.
my younger sister's husband.
Okay.
And Surendra's
Your brother-in-law. Okay. And so he was the one who helped Swamiji to create this audio CD for the music, right? The first one that we were using.
Yep, yep.
This first meeting, because of you, Swamiji was able to connect to Theosophical Society, and it reminds me the same story as Naimishaben was the instrumental for bringing Swamiji to Navsari and Gujarat. So you have been a connection for Samarpan meditation to Theosophical Society in UK. Tell us more about some programs that took place over there.
You mean to say Theosophical Society?
Yes.
Well, to tell you frankly, actually, I joined my Theosophy from Kenya, actually, because I'm originally from Kenya.
Right.
In 1982, I joined Theosophy. And actually, as you were, like Swamiji says that I was searching for something because I never believed in one God, and I was thinking, why so many God and all these things? And I found Theosophy very interesting that it actually gives a lot of opportunity to learn about all the religion, and it is beyond the religion which we teach, and truth is the main part of Theosophy. And Theosophy means Gupta Gnan, which is the beautiful word, actually Guru Karya of Theosophy when I was in Kenya. And when I came to UK, then again, I joined my membership here in UK, which is in Oxford Street. And I used to attend all my meetings, and we have very deep knowledge of going stage by stage in Theosophy, actually, from TS to MS and ES and all these are all the stages which we go through. And I did reach my each and every stage where I wanted to in Theosophy. I attended lots of conventions, international conventions.
Very interesting.
Yeah, so this is what happened actually in my Theosophical journey also.
Yeah.
So that's how I joined. And then when Swamiji came, I felt that my members need something like Anubhuti. So we organized talk for Swamiji, and it was very, very successful. Usually when our speakers are there, we have about 20-25. But when Swamiji came, we had around, I would say 60 to 70 people. We had to close the door to say no more. It was totally packed. So
that
it
is
was
interesting.
energy which actually pulled everyone, and they couldn't believe when I was talking about Swamiji's booking for Swamiji. They said, "Oh, you don't have a translator. He speaks in Hindi and all those things." They were trying not to let me go in, to bring my guru who doesn't speak English, So anyway, we succeeded, and then at the end of the session, he came and said, "Jaya, whenever your Swami is here, please do book in for, we need him." So this is how we put Swamiji in Theosophy even.
That is what happens. That initially when people don't know about Swamiji and Samarpan meditation, they all reject because that is the way ego plays its role. But I believe that once somebody practiced meditation with Swamiji, he would realize how important and beautiful this gift is that he brought for us from Himalayas.
And I would like to add here that our first Samarpan book we presented to Theosophical Society first time. It wasn't even circulated in India. Swamiji brought it when it was published.
It was launched at the Theosophical Center. Like they launch any books, any new books coming out or any DVDs in India. The first Samarpan Yoga was launched in UK at the Theosophical Society.
I was not aware of that. That is the first new information for us.
I have a photograph. I'll share it with.
Yeah, please share it with us later. Surendra Bhai, next question is for you. So, before coming into Samarpan meditation, did you believe in any guru or samadhist guru or something like that as a sportsman?
No. Not that I was against anything. Of course, I visited temples and, as I said, lectures in London, especially the Chinmaya Mission lectures in London. But other than that, I wasn't really into anything. So no. So Swamiji is the first one. He's the first one, and he's the last one.
Right. In fact, many of us can connect with your story more easily as men, because we men are more in our own world, and we like to do what we love to do, like sports or any entertainment things, or hanging around with friends and things like that. We don't pay much attention in spirituality. Your couple has a beautiful story to share as an example for all of us. So thank you for sharing this information.
I'm also a sportswoman. I am a sprinter. I'm a marathon runner.
Oh, that's nice. Then you are perfect to follow Swamiji, because Guruma is one of the sportswomen too. So we are in the right path then.
Yeah, Jaya and if I may, Jaya and Liz took part in the Cardiff Marathon. Can't remember the exact year, 2005, perhaps. And Jaya completed it. I remember that. Also, if I may, Hitendra,
go ahead, please.
Since we are on the subject of Theosophical Society, we all together, Swamiji's had 4 talks at the Theosophical Center in London over different years. But there was one in 2004, which was a retreat at the Theosophical Retreat Center in Camberley, just outside London. This is a very interesting story. This is an experience that we went through. It was over 3 days, so it started from Friday evening and went on to Sunday. So on the Friday, Swamiji did 1 hour lecture. There are two experiences here. One hour lecture, and on the Saturday he did his usual discourse and question answer sessions, different times of the day. And this was in May, and it's supposed to be a summer day, but summertime. But it was raining, it was windy, it was cold, it was a horrible day. And he said to us that if tomorrow is like this, because as we all know, overseas when he comes, he likes to take us outside on the field and do the usual water and stone experiments. And so he said, tomorrow, if it's like this, we can't go out. I'm going to stay in my room. You guys do what you want to do. And I thought, what are we going to do? I mean, we're not guru or anything, So me being a kind of a worrier, I thought, oh dear. So I woke up at 1:30 in the morning, and when I wake up, I cannot go to sleep. I can't sleep. So I was sitting on my bed, I was literally praying, that please give us a good day tomorrow. The next morning, it was a lovely summer's proper day.
Amazing.
Yeah. We did our usual meditation, breakfast, etc. And then we took everybody out onto the field, placed them there. I went back to the building, and Srila Nag was accompanying Swamiji at the time. So they all came out, and Jaya was there as well. So Srila Nag said, oh, look, what a lovely day it is today. What a beautiful weather. Swamiji said, of course it is a good day because Surendra has been praying for this day since 1:30 in the morning.
And you were surprised. How come he knows?
Yes. And that was my first proper experience of a guru. And
so that was the question I had in my mind, that what connected you with Swamiji to this level, and you answered in that experience. In fact, I was going to ask you also about Srila Nagji, because I believe it is the 2004 workshop at the Theosophical Society that Swamiji sent us the video saying that from now onwards, whenever you want to make a workshop in Canada, you can use this video because it has an English translation. So we have been using that every month on our monthly video shibir that we were doing at our home in Canada. So I remember very well.
There is one other story at the same venue, if I may.
Go ahead, please.
On the Friday, Swamiji did a 1 hour discourse, 1 hour talk, and then we settled down to for next morning. And there's a Theosophy member. His name was Richard. He was he was about 70s. He was in his late 60s, 70s, but he wasn't a very well person. He was not well. So early in the morning, when I was in the hall setting up my camera, etc., he came down and he said, "I would like to tell you something. When Swamiji comes to this kind of events, does he clear us?" And I said, "Yes, he did." So he wanted to tell me a story. I said, "Why don't you save that until later in the day when there is a question answer session?" So he said that for 32 years, he was not feeling well. He hasn't been feeling well, and it takes him at least 2 hours to be with the world. So he's a very slow person in the morning. It takes him a long time to get ready. This day, this particular morning, after last night's, previous night's talk, he woke up and he started getting ready, not realizing what is happening. And before he realized, he was ready in no time, like any normal person would. That's the first time in 32 years it happened, and he shared this story with us.
That is a clear transformation of the personality.
Yeah. Obviously, we asked him to stay, come to our centers, and be part of Samarpan, but we never saw him again, unfortunately. Yeah. So
that's very interesting, Surendra Bhai. Thank you for sharing that with us. Jayaben, I have one question for you. Param Pujya Gurudev's teaching, which extremely resonate with you, and what made you dedicate your life completely in Guru Karya for so many years?
Well, again, very simple language, very innocent the way Swamiji talks about it, and it really touched my heart the way he was always giving these discourses. And even when I read his first time Himalayan Samarpan Yoga, each and every words, each and every line when I was reading, I felt as if it was written for me. How the Guru is talking to the Guru Shishya teachings. And this is why I loved Swamiji's teaching, that it was very simple to understand, and it touches your heart. And
very true. We can feel the vibration while you are talking, and that is the blessing of Swamiji.
Yes, actually, that's why I never looked back, actually. And when Swamiji first time asked me that, do you still want to work, carry on working? And I said, not really, I didn't ask Surendra about it, anything, just I said, yes, Swamiji, what is there for me? And he said, I would like you to come to India because we are starting the Dandi Ashram. And if you can come down, then I have got a project for you to look after the Dandi Ashram when we select all the boys and girls. So nice. I just gave up myself. The words were so strong, the vibrations were so strong, I couldn't say no to my Guru. And I just gave my resignation in school, and that's how I left.
Thank you very much for sharing that, and that sets clearly an example for all of us. In fact, it was part of my next question. I will be coming more on the work at the ashram. Before we move on that, I want you to tell us a little bit about how you joined Swamiji coming to Canada. And I think Sonal has some real souvenir pictures for us from your first trip with Swamiji to Canada. This is our base for US and Canada, how Samarpan came to North America.
Yeah,
you are going to see the pictures. You are going to love that. It's a good memories.
Yes, there are lots of memories. Unbelievable. I think my husband has got a whole album about that.
That's good. That's good. This interview made you go back into the old memories. That's nice.
Yes.
Yeah, so I want to give some comments over here. The left, the pictures on the left is first Shibir that Swamiji has done in the Hindu temple. Jayaben is standing and talking, probably sharing her experiences. Again, as I told you, Jayaben was the bodyguard and translator. In fact, she gave me opportunity to translate during this workshop. And here is one of the sadhak who was offering his salutation, namaskar, to Gurudev. In those days, this was possible. Less than 5 feet of Gurudev, we were able to go close to Swamiji. So that was our first Shibir. And on the right side was, in the center, is the retreat that Swamiji gave during his second visit, 2002. And as you can see, again, Jaya been working with Swamiji for vibrating the water bottles. That is Kalpana sitting facing back. And some of the sadhaks attending this retreat, Swamiji there. And again, Jaya Ben is trying to explain certain things that Swamiji is telling us. On the rightmost corner, you see, as Jayabin mentioned, she has studied the yoga at the Shivananda ashram. We have one of the ashram of Shivananda in Val-Morin, Quebec. So with Swamiji, my father, Jayabin, and our kids, me and Kalpana, were able to visit this ashram. And some of the good memories of spending some time with Swamiji at home. This is at the bottom, Kalpana and Jayaben having fun time with Swamiji. Myself, Jayaben and Swamiji answering back certain information to sadhaks in India through email. So this was some of the good time we spent together. Thank you very much, Jayaben, for coming there for us. And I remember very well Swamiji telling us that, look, I did not come directly to Canada. I landed to UK. I created base there, and from UK, Jayaben is coming to help you. The same way you will have to go and help USA. So in Canada, most of the Guru Karya was done with the help of Kumarbhai Malde, who really helped us to develop Samarpan meditation. But most of the Guru Karya I was doing after 2004 by workshop that Swamiji gave the video of Theosophical Society, and myself and Shrilaben did some work in USA. So that was our history, and how Jayaben and Surendrabhai became instrumental for us for North America.